السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسعد الله صباحكم بكل خير. Hello everyone and a great morning to you all and welcome to NTI's series of webinars. Today's webinar is on enhancing your speaking skills. My name is Firas, live from Muscat, the capital of beautiful Oman. And I'm the moderator for today's session. I'd like to introduce today as the presenter, Sabiha Parveen, and our Zoom master, Latifa. For your information, all a recorded version of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel, which you can watch again later if you missed anything. We'd love to hear from you. So if you have any questions, there'll be a question and answer session at the end of this 1-hour webinar. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And please give us your feedback either by commenting or sending us an email to info@ntioman.com. For those who just joined us, welcome to NTI's series of webinars, and over to you, Sabiha.
Thank you for your introduction, Firas, and good morning to all of you. And welcome to the webinar, Enhance Your Online Speaking Skills. I'll just be sharing my screen with you, so just give me a minute. Right, so good morning once again, and what date is it today? Today is the 1st of March. And had it been any ordinary month, it would have been the 29th of March, indeed. So let's enjoy the 1st of March, a day of learning and sharing our experience. I would request you all to please open up your screens so that we can have an introduction. Can you all just open up your screens, please? And as you speak, please unmute yourself. Can we have you on video, please, on the cameras? Thank you. I see somebody there. Can the others also just open up your cameras? We'd love to see your lovely faces. Thank you so much, Hilal. And yes, the others as well, please. So can we have a few introductions? And I also want you to say, why is confidence important while speaking? Why is confidence important while speaking? A line about it is fine. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Morning, Sabiha ma'am. This is Ashwini.
Hi, Ashwini.
Confidence is important for me because it expresses or rather gives the message correctly to the listener.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you, Ashwini, and welcome to the webinar.
Thank you.
And Mr. Hilal, can we have your intro, please?
Yes, good morning. My name is Hilal Sabiha Parveen from NTI company, Seattle. Well, I think confidence, why it is important, because if you're coming to speak to the audience, if you're not confident enough, you will not be able to send your message, and also will not be able to grab their attention. I think this is one of the most important things, to be confident. People will see, I mean, you can even, they can believe you if you're confident, but if you're not confident, they will not even hear to what you say.
That's right. Thank you so much, and welcome to the webinar. Do we have any other participants with us who would like to introduce themselves? I see a few more people. Yes, Miss, can we have your introduction, please, Mr. Busaidi?
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
My name is Saad al-Busaidi from Senior HSC department. Well, regarding being confident, yes, as Mr. Hilal just said, without being confident, you cannot transfer the message to the audience and to believe on what you're saying that is, I mean, the right thing or truth.
Okay, thank you so much. And we see somebody else there on screen. Can you, Ms. Mohiddin, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
I'm Shazia Mohiddin. I got the link from Facebook, and I was really interested to see what this webinar is actually about. So Inshallah, I'm sure it will be a very good one.
Inshallah. And thank you so much, Shazia, for joining us.
Thank you.
And I see many other participants. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. This is the best opportunity for you to get started in speaking. Just open up your camera and your mics and speak to us, please. Yes,
hello.
Please. Morning.
Good morning. This is Lakshmi here.
Morning, Lakshmi.
How are you doing?
Great. And what about you?
Fine. And good to be part of this webinar. And as far as confidence, why that is important? Only if we are confident, whatever we are trying to convey gets through to the person whom we are trying to convince. So
all right.
Confidence is really important.
Yes, thank you and welcome to the webinar. Do we have anybody else who would like to introduce themselves? Okay. So with this, I shall proceed further and do make use of the speaking opportunity is what I would like to request all of you, our dear participants who have spent their precious time to be with us this morning. Thank you all. It really does make an effort for us to enhance our skills, and definitely it's the call of the day. So I'm going to take you through exactly what we are going to go through this program. So the agenda for the day is we're going to learn how to know your audience, selecting the content, organizing the content, preparation and practice, controlling your fear, deliver your talk confidently, impromptu speaking. Now this is a segment which is going to happen live. So for this session, I'm not actually using videos because I would like you all to participate in the impromptu speaking session and experience and enjoy for yourself how to speak on a topic instantly. So don't go away, stay with us till the end of the session. Definitely you have a lot of learning and take home. Now you must be wondering, why we need to enhance our speaking skills. Every profession in life needs communication, whether it is our family or any other industry that we are working in, or we in the education field, we need to communicate. And not just communicate, because communication is the most misunderstood thing as well. If it is not communicated properly, messages are misunderstood, people can end up fighting, people can end up following wrong instructions. And so also goes with speaking and presenting. So let's see how we can become better communicators. To our first topic now, know your audience. What exactly is it that we need to know about our audience? You can all share one by one if you can. What is it that we need to know about our audience? Either you can type or speak, choice is yours. What is it that we need to know about our audience? Anybody can answer that.
Their profession, the specializations, maybe the interests.
The interests and?
Yes,
the age group.
Okay, the age group. And?
Yes, nationally, it can be like which countries they come from, maybe.
That's
the basic background.
The basic background.
The ethnicity, the ethnicity of the person.
Yes, thank you so much to all of you for sharing your inputs. Audiences are varied. Now, you don't have the same audience every time. You may have the same talk every time, but you may not have the same audience every time. So what is it that is variable about an audience? Let's look at that. First of all is the age. The age of the participants or your audience can vary. If you're speaking to youngsters, your tone has to suit them. And if you're speaking to high professionals, then your tone has to vary according to that, and your content has to vary according to that. Gender. Why is gender important? Sometimes if you have only female audiences and you're trying to speak things which are not appropriate to that gender, then people may find it offensive. So we need to always ensure that we know who are our participants. Occupational and cultural diversity, like how Hilal just said, we need to know where people are from, which country are they from, and also their occupational background. Supposing if you have people from the medical field and you're speaking about sports, will that be effective? Certainly not. So that's why occupational and cultural diversity is very important. Educational background, we need to know. Sometimes you could have audience who is not literate. Sometimes people may not be able to communicate properly in a certain language. So please ensure that you have the right details available regarding your audience and the number of participants. Because of COVID, we have all adapted to online speaking. Some of us have mastered it and some of us are still trying to be better at it, enhancing our skills. Being online, we have a benefit that either we know how many people are there with us. It could be 1, 2, or it could be 100, 150 people. Eventually, does it really matter? Yes, it does, because if you have many people, then you have to have a different approach. If you have less people, you can have a personal approach. So that's what is all about your audience. Now, what are the common speech objectives? Why do we speak? Can anybody tell me why do we speak?
To deliver what you want to deliver, like a message or whatever.
Okay, to deliver, I agree with you, but anything else that goes? Why do we speak?
We speak to communicate with them.
Okay.
Open up our views and try to understand what they want from us, to interact with the opposite.
Okay, to interact. All right, thank you, both of you. Now let's look at the common purposes, the common goals which the audience, for the audience that you need to achieve. What is it that you need to do? You need to fulfill the audience's goals. And what are they? You need to inform, inspire, persuade, and entertain. The choice is yours. You need to think what you want to do. So you need to focus on this at the beginning of your talk, speech, or presentation. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to inform, inspire, persuade, or entertain? So remember that when you do an advanced research in the area on which you're speaking, you turn out to be more knowledgeable, more confident. You have the positive energy and you can have a speaker-friendly audience, people who interact with you. So this is what is important. Now coming to the next step, which is selecting the content. What must you do when you select the content? Where can you find your content? Where can you find your content? Can anybody tell me that?
Where you can find your content.
Yes, where can you find your content? If you have a topic to speak about or give a presentation, where can you find your content?
A reliable website.
A reliable website, what else?
Books,
Yeah.
magazines.
Books, magazines, anything else?
Maybe your own experiences.
Your own experiences. All of you have given me some very valid points. So let's look at selecting the content. What can you do about it, okay? So there are two main sources when you select your content. As we just discussed, the first is personal, sorry? Okay. The first is personal experience, stories, most importantly. Stories liven up anything. Stories can give life to your speeches, or stories can give life to your presentations, to the webinars, to everything. Stories are very unique to each and every one of you because no one else has shared your life story in print. So ensure that you always try to recollect your stories and try to think about them, how you can communicate them effectively. Career, maybe your experience in learning, your family, for sure, and your education. All these things can give you the experience to add on to whatever content you have. And reference material, as Ashwini said, a website, and as Shazia said, the personal stories. And this is how we can always build up on our sources. Now, Generally, when we have content, it can be like an ocean. How can we narrow down our selection? Let me just share a few tips with you. Points to consider. First of all, your audience, how many people are there? And then the occasion. Why are you speaking and where are you speaking? Okay, this is very important. Secondly is your own abilities and strengths. Am I able to do this properly or not? And how can I make this better when I'm presenting myself? And most importantly, be specific and have content that you can finish on time. So remember, your personal experience and resources plus consideration of your audience will ensure that you have an excellent talk. Now coming to the next thing, that is organizing your content. What must we do when we organize our content?
You need to organize your ideas, idea by idea.
That is right. You need to organize your ideas. Thank you for sharing that with us. You need to organize your ideas.
Yeah, so a proper structure.
A proper structure. And what else?
Meeting your objectives.
Objectives, okay. Anything else?
The beginning and the end should be strong.
The beginning and the end should be strong.
Should connect with the audience.
All right. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing that. And let's see how we can organize our content. First things first, and this is something which is helpful in all spheres of speaking. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them, and then the last step is to tell them what you have told them. What does this mean? When we say tell them, what you're going to tell them is to give them the main content that is required. At the beginning, before you tell them, you need to inform them what is going to happen. That is, what are you going to tell them about, okay? Like how when we were starting this session, I told you that this session is about enhancing your online speaking skills. So I told you what the session is about. And I also told you what we are going to do. Now, this segment of our session is all about me telling you what it is all about. And you are there to share that experience with me. And when we finish, we will all summarize. So I'm going to again tell you what I have told you during the session, and we will all recap it together. So this is a very excellent mantra which you can always keep with you. Very small, very effective, and we use it in all spheres of our training. Now, to develop an outline, and this is applicable to all modes of communication. First things first, we always need an introduction. And secondly, we need the body. Now, what does the body have? Not the physical body, we mean the content. We have the main ideas or points, and we have the supporting material. Now, whenever you present an idea, you need to always support it with facts and figures that match up to it. Otherwise, people will think that you're just kind of saying things without any validation. So you need to validate your points. And most importantly is the conclusion. So whether you're writing or speaking, these three segments are always applicable: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So please remember this in mind, and definitely it will help you organize your thoughts much better and develop a productive outline. Now, filling in the outline, what must we do? What do we need? We always need some, whenever we eat a sandwich, you have the bread on top and you have the bread at the bottom. And in between, what do we need? We need the filling, right? So what filling do we need for our talk whenever we are having a speech or a presentation? You need to list the key points that you're going to speak about. We don't want a very big explanation about what's happening. Key points are effective. The discussion is to be done by you. Arrange them in order. What order would we look for? What order do we need? Can anybody tell me? What kind of an order do you need? You need a logical sequence whenever you're trying to fill in the outline. ensure that you have a logical sequence as you arrange your points. Expand upon these points where required. And develop an introduction. You need to decide prior, what are you going to introduce? Develop a close. As you introduce, you also have to think about the closing. Create a mind map. A mind map is a structure that can just have you glance instantly at what are you trying to do. You can have an outline, like how you see in the figure on your screen. Intro, body, and the end, which is your conclusion. So you can easily visualize what is it that you're trying to do. And while you're doing the visualization, please do not forget your time limit. If your timing is half an hour or 1 hour, focus on that. If your timing is 15 minutes, focus on that. And expand or reduce your content based on that. So can we just recap quickly the points that we did for outlining what's essential? Can anybody help me with that? Just a short recap.
The introduction, body, whatever you say.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, you need an introduction, you need a body and a conclusion. So what do we need to remember? It is best to do things systematically, since we are only human, and disorder is our worst enemy. Indeed it is. If we expect to speak confidently, obviously we need to have a certain organization of our thoughts as well as the content and what we are going to say and how we are going to say it. So that's the reason why we need a bit of systematic approach to how we are going to plan and organize ourselves. So that was as far as how we can do the structure. Now, preparation and practice, what must we do? What do we need to do when we prepare and practice?
You have to be ready for what you want to present for the audience.
That is right. We need to be ready how we are going to present to the audience. Thank you so much. So first of all, become familiar with the online meeting tools. Right now we are speaking about enhancing our online speaking skills. So most importantly is that you know your online meeting tools. Because if you're not familiar with how to share your screen or how to speak using the tools available for you, then definitely confidence will not be there with you. So we need practice of how to use the meeting tools. Microphone usage, again, it's important how you're heard. That's the reason why many people keep asking, am I audible? Am I audible? So you need to do your audible test before so that you are confident when you go online that yes, you are audible. Background. Right now, I'm not using a Zoom background and I prefer not to do so. Why? Because I'm moving, I'm using my hands. Zoom backgrounds are not very complimentary when you have actions. And if at all you do decide to use a Zoom background, ensure you don't have very rapid movements so that there is a distraction and people cannot see parts of your body. If you're just moving too frequently, you may disappear, your hands may disappear. So I prefer using a plain background or a background with some proper graphic which can be visible. Light in the room. Now, if you're able to see me clearly, that's because I have light reflecting on my face at the right angle. So please ensure that before you communicate, you have the light coming onto your face at the right angle so that you don't look dark and merge with your background as well. And also when we are speaking about the backgrounds, ensure that you don't use backgrounds which merge with the color of your clothes, please. That will ensure, that will just merge you and the background. So try to have a lighter background so that you become more visible. Room conditions, again, you don't need noise around you so that when you speak, there is silence. Visual aids, you need to familiarize yourself with your visual aids, that is your PowerPoint or any other things that you're using, or the annotation screen, all these things you need to know prior. Now rehearsing and improving, what can we do? Practice ideas, not words. Some people have a habit of doing it word by word. Don't just practice word by word. Think about the main ideas that are there so that you can build up on that. Prepare a mental draft of your presentation or speech. Finish each rehearsal session and add improvements gradually. Also arrange for feedback, because feedback is the breakfast of champions. So unless we don't get feedback, how can we make ourselves better? So remember, good luck happens when preparedness meets opportunity. Now, most of the times when we have to speak, we are fearful. Why? Because we fear that people will be judging us. We fear that we are not up to the mark. And we fear that what will the others think of us. So how can you overcome your anxiety triggers, which come in the form when you have new and unknown situations, risk of failure, potential for appearing foolish, and possibility of boring the audience? All this can be ruled out if you practice. So anxiety symptoms, what happens? Our heart starts pounding faster and butterflies in the stomach and uncontrollable shakes. Some people, yes, do actually shake. And lightheadedness, yani you just don't know exactly what's happening in your head. So all this can happen to you as anxiety symptoms.
And you start also sweating.
Sorry?
Sweating.
Anything you would like to say?
Yeah, also starting to sweat. Some people are sweating.
Thank you so much. Yes, we also do sweat. Thank you for adding that point. So nice of you, really. So how can you manage your anxiety? Is experience of practicing and rehearsing. Visualization, that is, think positive, don't think negative. Think you can do it and you can do it. Relax, that is, breathe a little. Take deep breaths and it helps you to calm down. So remember, it's normal to feel nervous. Your audience won't notice, and use methods to exhibit confidence. Now, delivering your talk, what's important? Let's look at that. First of all is your opening, body, language, and successful closing. What can we do for openings? Let's look at that. You can get attention of the audience, first of all, by be confident and audible, introduce the topic, and establish rapport. And take less than 5 to 10% of the entire talk time. Sometimes, unfortunately, people have their closing up to half of the segment of their talking time. Now, opening techniques. State the importance of your topic. That is, what's in it for me? If I'm there in the audience and I'm listening to you, I would want to know what is it in it for me. So this is what should be there at the beginning of your talk. Please emphasize what's in it for me, for your audience, that why is that topic important to them. Make a statement, tell a story, ask a question, and refer to the occasion. All of these can work wonderfully well when you're starting your talk, and use a quotation when required. Now, openings to avoid is by acknowledging that you have not prepared well. Now, this is an absolute no-no. Please do not say that, I'm sorry, I didn't get much time to prepare. That is not acceptable. Avoid being dull and boring, and avoid delaying mention of the topic. That is, you need to ensure that you inform the topic at the beginning. Using body language, how can you do that? Facial expressions, smile, practice a little smile. It helps to lighten up and liven up people's lives. We can always use our expressions effectively. Gestures, you can make gestures with your hands, with your face. All these things really add up value to what you're speaking. And your whole body movement now depends. Right now I'm sitting and presenting to you, but there may be opportunities when you would be online, but you would need to stand. So please ensure that the camera is adjusted to your self so that you're projected clearly. Now, concluding the talk, it's like wrapping your gift anytime. We don't like to just give a gift like that. We would love to wrap it up nicely. So we call it as wrapping it up, okay? So what can we do? Successful conclusions again include, and to achieve a sense of closure, make an impact. Why must we make an impact? Because we always have a message that we carry and we can pass it on to the audience. Again, don't take too much time for your closing. Now, techniques, you can use a quotation, Tell a short story again, or call for action. Like if you're persuading people, you need to call them for action. Refer to the beginning. Recalling is a wonderful technique. So if you have a topic, recall whenever you can so that the audience remembers the reason why they are there. Recalling is an excellent technique. Do follow it. Now summarize your main points. Whenever you close a session, ensure that you summarize your main points. So this is what is all about closing. And reinforce your message. Whenever we listen to somebody, we always take home a message and ensure that when you are communicating, you give a take-home message to your audience. Coming now to the last segment, which is impromptu speaking. How many of you can actually speak when a topic is given to you instantly? How many of you, can you just show your hands or give me a thumbs up? I know that you can really speak well when a topic is given. Great. Anybody else can speak? Wonderful. Anyone else? Okay, great. It's good to know we have people who can take on some topics. Lovely. We are faced with questions day in and day out. Your boss may ask you, why are you late? Or your spouse may ask you, where were you? So we are actually great at impromptu speaking and we don't realize that. So today you will discover that potential of yours. What must you do when you're thrown with a topic suddenly? How can you handle it? First things first, listen. Secondly, pause. The pause is very effective. While you speak, as well as when you listen, a pause can really take you places. Confirm. Confirm what has been just asked of you. Tell what you want to tell and end again. So when you confirm the topic, and when you tell about what you heard and you're answering, and end again, you conclude whatever you have just said. Now, what strategy can you use? Express an opinion, address cause and effect, break the topic into components, discuss the past, present, and future. So this is what you can do. Now, simple, when the boss asks you, why are you late? What will you say? I was late because there was a lot of traffic. You see, boss, this is evidence. So you're giving evidence to the boss as well.
That is a very, very, very old evidence.
Yes, but nonetheless, it does work sometimes and it doesn't work sometimes. So it's up to you really to master it. Different excuses. Now, whatever you do, you need to be confident. Now, as you said, Hilal, that doesn't work. So it's up to you. If your boss has heard it countless times, you need to really innovate some more genuine answers. Be brief, that is, make it short. Don't make it too long because then you can fall in your own trap of words. And be sincere. That is, try to be as honest as you can. So those were the tips that I'd like to give to you today. Now is practice time. What are we going to do in this segment? We'll be recapping this complete session after this segment of impromptu speaking. So are you ready? Let me just explain to you what we are going to do. I'll be reading a topic twice and you need to listen. Now there are two things for this. You can become a good listener and a communicator at the same time. Secondly, any participant can volunteer to speak. Just raise your hand, unmute, and then you can take the topic. Thirdly, the timing. You can speak for a minimum of 1 minute or a maximum of 2 minutes. So are we ready to do some impromptu speaking? Can I see a show of emoticons or hands, thumbs up? Great. Thank you so much. And listen carefully. My first topic is, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Who would like to speak on this, please? Great. Marwa, please unmute yourself and speak.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry for the lighting back there. I couldn't find a better place, but I didn't want to miss this one. So I'm going to start. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Whenever we do things, when we do them in our comfort zone, There's nothing really interesting to do. There's nothing new to learn. There isn't a limit in your own self that you're pushing. Actually doing new things outside your comfort zone makes you understand yourself better and also discover yourself, your qualities, things. Sometimes we end up doing things outside our comfort zone and then we look back and ask ourselves, was it me who did this? When did I have that potential? When was I ever able to do that? And you feel proud of it. And it becomes a section of your life which you always want to mention to others and tell them, I've done this or I've done that. So that's it. So what I would say is it's always good to try new things, not only in the areas which you love. Just take it as a challenge and try it. Doesn't matter if it ends with a failure or something you didn't accept. I always believe that you always have something to learn, even from a bad experience. So just go for it and you'll be good. Next time it will be better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marwa. You spoke brilliantly and I really loved it. Thank you so much. Very well done. Can we have an applause for Marwa, please? Thank you so much. And now for our next topic. Success is not final and failure is not fatal. Success is not final and failure is not fatal. Who would like to speak on that, please? Can I just have a show of hand? Who would like to speak on this topic? Any takers for the topic? I see pin drop silence, and this is exactly what happens in impromptu speaking. Come on, people. Yes, I see a hand there. Go ahead, Shazia.
Success is not final and failure is not fatal. People usually think that if you are successful in one particular area of your or you're successful in your career, then you have achieved everything in life, and that's not true. I have an example from my life. One of my friend, she was, a topper in the class, always getting excellent marks. And we used to think, wow, she's going to make a wonderful career and how successful she will be. And we all used to envy her. Then when we finished our graduation from the high school in 12th, and we were not connected with each other for a long time. After a while, when I got back connected to her and I came to know where she lives, where she stays, I just came to know that she had started a business and became a failure, and she went into depression and she was feeling lost in life. She didn't know what to do. And then when I spoke to her, I made her realize what she was, how she performed herself in the school and what qualities she had, and made her gain her own confidence back. That made her realize that what qualities she had. So failure is never fatal. You learn from your failures. If you fail today, that's the beginning of your success. If you fail once, that does not mean that it's an end to your career or end to your life. Failures teach you and make you more stronger in your life. And that's how she began her new life. And now she's a very successful entrepreneur. So life is never about giving up. Failures teach you, and success also teach you that you should never be arrogant and be confident that you'll never fail in life. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Shazia. Indeed, you spoke beautifully well and confidently. That's what really matters. Well done. Can we have an applause for Shazia, please? I guess we have time for only one more topic now. Or can we have two topics? One topic or two topics? Okay, two topics. Two more topics so people just gear up. My next topic is mistakes are a proof that you are trying. Mistakes are a proof that you are trying. Who would like to speak on that?
Can I go for it? And can you please repeat the
Sure.
topic?
The topic is mistakes are a proof that you are trying.
Thank you. It's a nice subject. Mistakes are part and parcel of your life. We humans try to avoid the mistakes as and when they are doing something. I would like to share my own experience. I was trying to learn an ancient language, ancient transcript. It was very difficult, though it shows that it is similar to the language, to the transcript which I have learned. So I thought, let's give it a try. So what happened? I tried for the first time and I was way too much confidence that I am going to succeed at its first place. But when my instructor said the mistakes I have done while writing the transcript, it shows that I was not giving a proper efforts to do that. Later on, he corrected me almost 10 times. And at the 11th time, I got corrected about the transcript I was writing. So this shows that I was doing something rather than just having an overconfidence on whatever I'm seeing in front of me. So I guess whenever you are trying, give your sincere efforts so that the mistake can be converted into the success or a correction. And hence, just go for it without any hesitation. Be sincere, have your efforts up to the mark, give your more than 100%. Yes, so it shows that did something. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ashwini. And indeed, you spoke beautifully well.
Thank you.
A round of applause for Ashwini, please. Let's appreciate. Thank you. And the last topic, don't miss the opportunity. The topic is, listen carefully. Every day is a new opportunity to change your life. Every day is a new opportunity to change your life. Who would like to speak on this topic? Go ahead, please. Can we have a show of hand, or you unmute yourself and speak? Who would like to speak?
Can you repeat the topic?
Yes, please. The topic is, every day is a new opportunity to change your life.
Thank you. Every day is definitely a new opportunity to change your life. When you go to sleep at night, you're not sure what next morning will bring. So when you get up the next morning, it is one full day to do whatever you think you want to do. And this can be done both in a constructive way as well as in a destructive way. But like the topic says, every day is a chance to bring about change, whether the change is within yourself or a change in what you see around you. Like today, I decided that yes, I want to attend this particular webinar so that it will help me to speak more confidently and convey whatever I want to much better. So that was the step that I took to bring a change in myself. In similar way, there can be days when we can actually do things which can help people around you bring about a change in their lives. So it is up to us whether we want to make use of the day that we have been gifted, whether we just want to while away a time, or make a difference to ourselves and also to the people around us. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we come to the end of the impromptu speaking session. Thank you to our speakers, Marwa, Ashwini, Shazia, and Lakshmi. A big round of applause, please, for them. It takes great courage to speak. And the reason why many cameras didn't open up and people spoke is one of this. So let's work towards becoming great communicators and take it one step at a time. Okay, so we said let's practice. Now, can any one person just tell me, how did you enjoy this segment of impromptu speaking? I just need a few, or maybe one line each of you can just share with us.
Hello,
Yes,
Ashwini
please.
here. I felt better that I spoke better without stopping anywhere. So I'm happy with that. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Great to get started. Anybody else?
Yes. I actually loved it, really. This is, it was great. And I actually realized with every topic you were saying, I had a lot of things to say. And I was like, why didn't I talk for this one? So it was really great.
Thank you.
And you know, it's like, you realize that you have this ability. It's great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else?
It made me realize that even I could speak with confidence.
Thank you so much. All right then. So with that, we come to the end of this segment. What we shared today were just some drops from the ocean. There is so much to learn in the area of speaking. And indeed, to be good communicators are a blessing. Please complete the poll, which is open in front of you, so that we can finish polling and then wrap up the session with question and answers. Okay, even as the polling is going on, I can always answer your questions. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask me so that I can help you. And don't forget to vote, please. And give your feedback. So any questions, any doubts that we may answer?
Yes, Sabiha, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Always when we have a communication session or a presentation on anything, when we fall into unforeseen situations where, for example, you express your opinion on a topic or something and you turn out to be wrong in some way, or maybe some piece of information is faulty, you pass it, maybe it happens. So these kind of unforeseen situations, what are the best techniques to overcome them and handle them properly within the speech so that you don't look fool, it doesn't give a bad impression? You know, we always learn, we always make mistakes, but the way we handle it gives a good impression. So what are the techniques for that?
Right. So your question is that if you make any fault while you're speaking or presenting your facts and figures, what must you do?
Yes.
If you have made a mistake, first of all, admit it, because if it is in front of a crowd, then you cannot say, okay, I'm right, and you start arguing about it, okay? Maybe a mistake that you have overlooked that thing. My apologies for having overlooked this piece of information. I should have rechecked, okay? So you're reaffirming that a mistake was made by you, and you can recheck. You should have rechecked. So what can you do? How can you stop the damage from happening? You can always tell, it depends again, the intensity of who you're speaking with really matters. Okay? If you're speaking to your seniors, then it is a serious affair. You cannot be presenting wrong facts, okay? So you can always lessen the damage. How? By telling them, my apologies for the mistake that happened. I will ensure that such a mistake doesn't happen in the future, and I will rectify and provide the correct figures. There ends the matter. When you try to cover up your mistake, that is when you're actually giving rise to more complication, okay? So admit it when you make a mistake that you have made a mistake. Now, as a communicator, how can you overlook this part of it? How can you overcome this part of it? Not overlook, how can you overcome this part of it is again, let's go back to preparation, okay?
Sure.
If you're presenting a report or a presentation, please ensure that you go through it at least 2 or 3 times, okay? And check your facts. What are you trying to present? There's no harm in that, okay? Or if your data is not confidential, you can always ask a colleague to look into it and advise, okay?
Right.
So these are the things that you can do. But first and foremost, it always starts, if you make a mistake, I want you to do the root cause analysis. Yani, why did you do that mistake, okay?
Right.
Doing a root cause analysis helps you to pinpoint the exact cause for why you made that mistake, okay? Maybe you depended on somebody to provide you that information, which you should have yourself looked into. So this is a learning curve. Again, like we just discussed some time back, mistakes are a sign that you're, proof that you're trying to improve, right?
True.
That you're
Right.
trying to get better. So don't think that, okay, I made a mistake, I cannot see anybody in the eye. That's not right, okay? Always have that confidence with you. Don't let anybody hamper your confidence. So this is what I'd like to do.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Anyone else? Any questions?
Yes, I have a question here.
Yes, please, Hilal. I can see you. You can open your camera. I like to see people.
Yeah.
I'm speaking.
Okay.
Yes, Hilal.
So my question is, how can I escape a question that I don't want to answer it, or an unwanted question, for example?
An unwanted question, again, depends from whom you're getting the question, okay? If it's a family or friend, then it's easy to just deviate their mind. Okay, yalla, I don't want to speak about this now. We can speak about it later. But if it is official, okay, it depends on who asked you the question again, whether it's a colleague or your boss. Fine? So which context are you asking me this question?
So for example, that I'm doing a presentation to a group of people, for example, like CEOs or whatever, big managers or from ministries. And I got an unwanted question to make me, for example, embarrassing or something like this. So I don't want to answer the question, but I wanted to answer it in a good way where I will not put anyone in trouble.
Okay, I got your question, Hilal. Your question is, if you're doing a presentation maybe to your seniors and they ask you a question, how can you avoid it? Okay. Now here, avoidance may not really be your choice. If it is a seniors, if you're speaking in front of, okay? So this is where you need, again, preparation. You need to be prepared with all kinds of questions, okay? Here, maybe you need to put in an extra effort to get yourself more accustomed to the questions that can come along your way, okay? So now it depends how good a rapport you have with the people in the audience, okay? If you're on a friendly term with the seniors, you can always tell them, okay, if you need these facts and figures, I'll send it to you by email, fine? You can also say that, but it purely depends on the situation, okay? But I would like to recommend to you that please prepare whenever you have a presentation. Prepare not just for your presentation. I'm not talking about the physical preparation of the slides and the content. I'm talking about mentally preparing yourself, how you're going to deliver it, okay?
One of the things that I've read about being a good presenter is to keep yourself as an audience way, how they look to you. So keep yourself in audience way and an audience situation. So what questions the audience could...
That's right. This is exactly what I'm trying to tell you, that you need to anticipate what kind of questions will be asked on which particular slide, okay? So you need to think, what will they ask me on this slide? What will they ask me on this particular figures or facts? So this is how you prep yourself to make yourself a better communicator when you're presenting. Preparation is the key anytime, okay? Preparation is the key. And most of the times people actually get caught off guard because they have not prepared. So I again go back to the RCA, which I said that's the root cause analysis. If you have done a mistake, always analyze what was the root cause of the problem, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Any questions? Or we can wrap up the session if you don't have any questions. So let's quickly recap the points that we just went through. And what were it? First things, what did we discuss about? You can all please just unmute yourself and open up your cameras. Let's see you. Okay, a quick recap. First thing, what did we learn about?
The content, for example. We have learned about the content.
Okay. Right, content, but before that, we need to know the audience, okay? Know the audience, and the next point which you gave us, Hilal, is to get your content, select your content, and then?
Prepare the mind map.
That's right, you need to organize your content and deliver your content confidently, and after that, you need preparation, that's right. Preparation and practice.
Practice.
Practice, practice, and practice. So that's what you need to do. Keep practicing and make yourself a better communicator. And on that note, I would like to urge all of you, if you have more questions, you can send it to us through email. I would gladly answer you. We need time management, again, is an essential part of speaking. So I do not want to exceed the time that has been given to me. And you as communicators need to ensure that you also respect the time of your audience and you yourself as the speaker. So thank you. Yes, please. Yes, Khais, anything? All right, so on that note, thank you so much for being with us today. It was a wonderful session and I am truly grateful to you for spending your precious time with us. I hope you really got to learn something and you have a take-home message that keep improving yourself. I leave you with the philosophy of Kaizen, that is continuous improvement. And also Anthony Robbins, one of the great motivational speakers, said, constant and never-ending improvement should be a part of our life. So start today, make yourselves better for your own self and for those around you. Take care and see you maybe in some other webinar in the future. And do visit us at NTI if you're passing by, and come and look at our lovely facility that we have for training. And thank you once again. And with that, take care, goodbye, and keep shining.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Have a great day too. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, so thank you, Sabiha, for answering those questions, and please make sure your mic is on mute. Thank you very much. That was a great webinar, and I think Sabiha left the gift wrapping for me now. So it was a pleasure having you all with us. Again, please don't forget to follow us and like us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And again, please give us your feedback, either by commenting on our social media pages or by sending me an email on info@ntioman.com. As for those who joined us late, you can always watch the recorded webinar on our YouTube channel. So really, this concludes the webinar, and thank you all for attending. We hope you have learned and enjoyed this webinar. Shukran jazilan. Thank you all.